lips are dry. A blank page of the southern sky. The tedium sends my thoughts awry, and I pray that we might not get there. Behind a wheel on a desert road, only one way to go. Too far to turn back now, but I pray that we might not get there. The world is warm, but my lips are dry. A blank page of the southern sky. Tedium says my thoughts are right, yet I pray that we might not get there. Behind a wheel on a desert road, only one way to go. And too far to turn back now, but I pray that we might not get there. The world is warm, but my lips are dry. A blank page of the southern sky. And tedium sends my thoughts awry, and I pray that we might not get there.
Hey, how you going, everyone? Welcome to our show. Hello, Jessica.
Hello. I am here.
Yeah, Jess is here, and but she's actually feeling a little bit crook.
I am. And I was just like going, So if I make a mad dash, just excuse me.
So if Jess goes exit stage left, then we know why.
All right. Turn a whiter shade of pale. Be prepared. This could go live and viral.
No worries. What's the name? A big shout out to everyone from the West Australian State Championships. As they say, winners are grinners.
There certainly was a handful of grinners.
Yeah, there were, and even the winners, even the others other than the winners were grinning as well, because everyone had a great time. I reckon a great shout out to Kieran Castelli and Simon Thomas and the master Leo Nolan, who backed them up, for laying out what it was clearly evident that every grade said it was just fantastic and was spot on. Big shout out to the observers and the punchers. The Scouts group came and supported us. Thanks to Darren Sumpton, so that was awesome there. So,
and we've gone green, so...
yeah. what's the
Okay.
name? Jess is getting sidetracked.
I just screwed up to the side. I was just like going, oh my god, we're going green.
Yeah.
Neil's lost us. Neil's doing something. But it's okay. We're still here.
I'm setting up all of your demands.
Yeah. So I was a bit worried when you said we're going green. I thought you were saying you were feeling crook.
Well, oh yes, that could have happened too.
No. So getting back on track. Yeah. No. Congratulations to Neil, 16th West Australian State Championship title in trials.
I think the only way he's going to come down is someone's going to have to do a Tonya Harding on him. Bring out that steel pole next year.
Yeah. And in the juniors, I reckon big shout out to young Jamie. I'm not sure. I think that's his first junior title. So, and I'm sure there's many more to come. Piper and also Jack was right on his heels as well. So some great competition in the juniors there. So awesome to see. Now I heard there was a little bit, and I'm not sure what's the outcome of this.
Yeah, we'll have to find out whether or not it's true. I'm waiting to get a message back from Kieran to see whether or not it was a recount
on the sidecars,
or whether or not Lewis was just trying to. Get his gold.
It's not like the sidecars to be mucking around with each other, is it?
No.
So, no, that's cool.
And Sam Brown just commented that Jamie rode so well, really smooth and confident.
Ah, awesome. He obviously did. So, yeah, thanks, Sam. Thanks for observing there. That section 1 of yours caused me a bit of trouble at times. So, it was an awesome little section. So, good stuff there, mate. And also a shout out to our Eastern States friends. Unfortunately, New South Wales wouldn't be doing a lot of riding.
No.
Unfortunately, and Victoria is the same.
I was going to say they would have to be closing off.
Yeah, and Queensland isn't quite as bad as those guys. But the South Australians and the West Aussies are probably the best placed
to be at the moment.
At the moment, as far as riding your bike.
Not that we should really gloat about that.
Yeah. Now, Jess, you've got us in suspense.
I know. Everyone is just like nerve-wracking with what we're talking about.
So I'm assuming, the state championships was very suspenseful.
Yes,
so
we've had a lot of suspense happening here.
Yeah.
In the sport and behind the scenes and everything else. So, but I think we should drop the bomb and let everyone know that we are talking about suspension.
So, well,
really
it is spring. So I thought, let's talk springs and suspension. So
come on, there could have been another
there you
side
go.
way.
So get a bit of spring in your step.
Bike.
We thought we'd talk about suspension. Now, this is going to be basic 101 basic suspension discussions.
Okay.
We can, and you've got longer to live than I have, but we could spend the rest of our lives talking on suspensions because there is so much. So we're not getting in depth. This is going to be real.
He says that now, so brace yourself.
Well, I'm going to say I might show them my pad.
I was going to say, have you? Well, they can't really see that.
That's my pad for the scribbles on suspension. So it is quite complicated.
So buckle up, people. Get ready because Simon's about to talk.
So the first thing I want to say is this is all very general comments about settings and things. The number one rule is go and check your tech informations and your manuals for specific settings and the type of shock that's in your bike, because there's quite a variation. For example, Gas 2021 or 20 models and 2021 models, depending on which bike you've got, you could have an Oland or you could have a Riga, depending on your capacity of your bike too. So when and it is quite a bit frustrating when you go to your manuals, trying to define which model you've got can be quite complicated. So the first rider, I say, you must do your homework and be very diligent in doing your homework as to exactly what shock you've got, what settings you need to if you're doing adjustments. Now, the other number one rule, so there's two two number one rules.
So should it be number one and then number 1.1?
No, you just got to use, there's always an exception to every rule. So the other number one rule is only ever change one thing at a time. So do one change, go and test it, see what the reaction is of that test. If you do 2 changes at the same time and then go out and test it, you won't know which one did what.
Well, that is a bit logical.
Yeah, that's logical, right? But you can't help yourself but to fiddle. The other thing is, before you start fiddling with any adjustments that I'm going to show you, detail where the current settings are now before you make any changes, and then go from there. So,
okay, we've got all that out of the way.
You got all that out of the way. So we've got a few photos just to flick through to kick off. So the first one will be the top end of a tech fork. So now it's a bit difficult with all the bright red, but this one here is your spring adjuster, or your preload. That's probably the right word I should call it, as Neil's pointing to you there. Now that little Duvalaki there adjusts your preload on your front fork suspension. Now with your techs and your Paolis, they only have a spring in one leg, which is the left hand leg if you're sitting on the bike. So there's only one spring. The other leg is your dampening leg. So the next adjuster is your rebound, which is at the top of your right hand spring, your right hand fork leg. So you'll see there, I'm sure Neil will point to it, but he wasn't going to. But it is pretty obvious. You don't have a lot of red there, so you can see it. Now that little Duvalaki there, if you turn it, you'll feel it'll click, and that's how you adjust your rebound on it. And I'll talk more in detail about that, but I just wanted to show you all the points first. So the next photo I want to show you is the bottom of that right hand tech fork leg, and this is your compression adjustment. Okay, see that gold there? Now, so that's adjust your compression, and we won't talk about what rebound is and what compression is yet.
Don't worry, you just lost me at the first part, so you know.
No, Jess,
I'm useless today.
No, there is a test after this, Jess. So.
Oh, okay.
So now then, the next one is going to be a Paoli.
Paoli?
A Paoli, not what's that food you get? Paella. That's it. I like that.
Cannoli?
No, not cannoli. That's. I
was just gonna say.
Get my tang in a tangle. I think I might need to have a coffee after doing all this. So the next one is your preload on your spring on a Paoli fork, which you predominantly get in your beaters and your Shercos. The older Shercos, the newer Shercos now have got techs. So that there, you just wind that down and that puts preload on your spring. Now your next photo is your rebound and compression, because on a Paoli, on this particular Paoli, the rebound and the compression is in the one adjuster, which Neil is pointing to at the moment. And I'll make note that if you've got a later model Beta Evo factory, then you'll have, like we showed you on the tech forks, where you've got a rebound on the top, a compression at the top and a rebound on the, no, it's the other way around. I'll get my tang in a tangle. They have a compression on the bottom and a rebound on the top on the Paoli Beta Evo factories. Right, so that's a bit of a variety there for you.
Gotta love variety. It's the spice of life.
Right. Now, if we go back to the photos, so we go back, I'll stir up my tech man. Go back to the first photo, which is the tech spring leg there. Now, this caught me the other day. I was showing Mike Flatman, actually. And how you going, Mike? I'd be interesting to get some feedback from you to see whether you've had a bit of a play around with your suspension. Now, unlike the Paoli, when you wind that Allen head bolt there, it just turns. It doesn't go down or up or anything, so you can't see anything happening. So with that spring, you need to count the turns with the spanner you're using, whatever you're using. Count your turns. So what you do is you wind it completely anti-clockwise until it stops. Wind it clockwise until it stops again.
And count,
right?
Count those.
And remember, my number one rule is check what the setting was at the beginning. So count the turns as you wind it back anti-clockwise, so you know where it was when you started. Now, now the tech forks say the standard setting. Now, the general rule of thumb for a trials bike, most of the suspensions are set to suit a rider of around about 80 kilos, 85 kilos roughly, somewhere around there. So that's your standard size rider. Now, the tech book says the standard setting for the spring is 5.5 turns clockwise. So that's the setting. Now, again, I use my number one rule. Make sure you check your tech specs on this information, because you can't rely on old people like me with bad memories.
No, definitely can't.
So now if we go to your dampening, the top of the tech fork for your rebound. Now, if you turn this, you'll feel it's got clicks. Now, what you need to do, Jess is getting a pad to take notes so that she can pass her test. The rebound standard setting is 19 clicks. Now, generally, from my memory, well, certainly on the Paolis, there's about 32 to 33 clicks from woe to go. So again, go and count the clicks and go anti-clockwise and record where it was, so you know where you're starting from. And then the standard setting, they say, is 19 clicks. So keep an eye on that. Now, your compression down the bottom, if Neil flicks to that photo, is the compression says the standard setting is 1.75 turns. So again, if you're adjusting anything, just count what it was on. Go back to all the way back to anti-clockwise, which is your starting point, and then the book says 1.75 turns to standard. So then you can have a play, and as I said, do one setting change at a time, and then have a play and see how you go. All right. I don't have any specific settings for the Paolis. As a general rule of thumb, I used to set mine. I used to like them quite springy, and I used to set mine around 7 to 10 because I like them to bounce around a little bit. So now the other contributing factor, of course, with all of this is your oil. Now with your old bikes, going back to the pre-twin shocks and stuff that we saw running around at the state champs, the only way you could get something to rebound and compress slower or quicker was to change the viscosity of your oil. Now, generally, the modern forks have got 5 weight in them, but again, check your manual, check what fork oil you should have in your bike. Okay, you got all that, Jess? Just.
I think. Well, you see, you kind of confused the crap out of me because I really thought you were talking about the bike suspension, not the forks. So when the forks came up, I was like, oh my god, what are we talking about? I'm just like really confused.
But that is bike suspension. That's the front.
I wasn't thinking along that line. So I just think the back. I just think of the rear end suspension. I don't think of forks as a suspension. I just figure them as forks, you know.
No worries. Now, speaking of that,
I was going to say, speaking of forks, because I've just been doing all the work on all the new bikes coming up, and I can't remember. I think it's the beaters. Do they have some fancy schmancy thing happening with theirs now that they're asymmetrical? Was it beater or gas? I can't remember.
I can't remember now. I know beater have been. I think they ought, because they're always doing them, and sometimes you can't see or feel the differences, but they're always making little changes.
Yeah. I know if you go on our website and you check out the latest ranges, I can't remember for the life of me which one it is, but one of them have done significant mod changes to their forks.
Right, yeah. Well, Beta, I think they did make a slight geometry change to their frame. I think it was, or or it might be the Vertigo, because the Vertigo's...
No, I've only just done the Vertigo. I remember everything about the Vertigo.
Yeah, well,
that's fresh. That's fresh. That's literally fresh on my brain.
Yeah,
so
I'm looking forward to your report on the Vertigos. So so now we'll go to
the actual suspension that I was thinking we were suspensing on. So
I've got one I've prepared earlier here. Right. Now this is a rear shock. Now this is a Sachs out of a Beta Evo. Now this particular shock is what you would call a one-way adjustable shock. And so now the top here is your compression and rebound adjuster, and the same again, do like I said before, work out where it was, count your clicks, go anti-clockwise until it stops, and then go clockwise and count all your turns. Then you know what the range is, and then you can set it from there. So that's your compression and rebound adjuster.
Because they can't see you pointing that side of the camera.
Oh,
I was just about to pick that up.
Well,
I think you're kind of pointing on the wrong side there, Simon.
It's right in the middle of the picture, so yeah, no, you're right, Neil. Everyone's taken me for a ride here. So that's your adjuster there, okay? So, and this is a spring. I think you'd know that. That's a spring, Jess.
Yes, I can see that it's a spring.
Right. So now your preload on your rear spring is done by these two lock nuts here. Right. So effectively all you got to do is crack your lock nuts there with your C spanners, and then you can see the thread range here, and then basically you can just adjust it to suit your weight. Now,
so if you're a little flea weight like me,
yes. Now,
which way do you go? Up or down?
Down. Now, the number one rule of suspension.
Keep me in suspense there. Is that number 1.3 or 4?
I'm not too sure how many we're up to now, but the first, if you really want to get serious about your suspension, then it doesn't matter what you're in, whether you're road racing, enduro, trials. Suspension is everything. There's no doubt about it, right? Getting the wheel to the ground, getting that traction and drive is what it's all about in anything, in trials or any sport for that matter, because that's the only way you're going to get going forward. So, but for suspension, you need, the first thing you need to do is get your spring rate correct, okay? Now, as I said earlier, the trials bikes are generally around your 80-85 kilos. That's what they're designed for, that type of person. I'm not talking the bike, I'm talking the person weighing 80-85 kilos. So that spring that's on the rear shock there is designed for someone who's around about that weight. Now, Neil and myself being flea weights, and Jess, you're not one size fits all, like I said the last show.
Thank you. Thank you for rectifying that comment.
So you're quite light too, and because you're not allowed to ask a lady her weight, so I'm not going to get into that.
That's fine.
You need to get the correct spring rate. Now, Neil and I have to get our springs made. You can get your standard springs. You can get, in the rear suspension, you can get 2 sizes heavier. In your front suspension springs, you can get 3 different sizes. So there's a little bit more variety in your front springs than your rear springs. Now, Neil and I have to get lighter springs made because we're flea weights. As Robin Ferguson called me once, he reckons I was a stick insect on a bike.
Yeah, well, now we know where Neil gets his stick insectness from.
So first thing, get your spring rate right. And you do that by adjusting those locking nuts on your rear shock. So you either put your tension on, take your tension off to suit your weight. You do the same on the front, as I showed you, with those screws on the front suspension for putting your preload on your thing. Now, but it's important not to put too much preload on your springs. Sometimes people think, oh, I want to slow the suspension up, I'll put more preload on it, or whatever the case may be. But getting that spring rate is important. So and the other thing I got, we'll go back to the table camera.
Yeah, Tech Man's not watching.
Get my Tech Man onto the job. Just quickly, I just thought I'd show you this shock. I got another shock here. Now this one here, as you can see, this is a Sachs as well. So quite similar to the earlier one I showed you. The only difference is you notice there's a bit of a difference down the bottom compared to the other one. You can see that. Now this one is a rebuildable Sachs, and there's a little valve down the bottom which you don't want to touch. Only get a qualified serviceman to touch that. But this is a rebuildable shock, this one here. And if we get into the Riga shocks and Öhlins shocks and your later fancy shocks, they have rebound and compression adjustment separately, and then there's also the three-way Riga as well. So that's when you really want to get fancy Nancy.
Sounds pretty fancy.
Well, that's it. It's time for a cuppa for me, I'm telling you.
Well, you can have a cuppa because I've got some pretty exciting products to talk about today. So my Delightful Tech Man's going to upload the new range of balance bike that Gas have bought out. So as you can see, they've teamed up. Now, please do, I apologise if I don't get the name of the company right. I can't work out if it's Stacey C Bikes. Yeah. But Gas have teamed up with them this year to create a 16-inch and 12-inch balance bike for the kids, and these are electric.
Oh,
yes,
electric ones.
Electric balance bikes. So if you just bear with me, I've just gone through just the specs today.
Okay.
So as you can see, the little tacker here, he's on the 12-inch.
Oh, that's gold.
Now, these are awesome. So they only weigh 7.7 kilos. So, sorry, I was looking at the screen thinking it was still up there. But they weigh 7.7 kilos. Oh, the aluminium TIG welded frame.
Yeah.
They have steel forks, BMX style.
Yep, cool.
Which is awesome.
Nice and strong.
They've kind of got, from what I can work out, a 3-range speed level. So they've got a low, which is a training mode, which is roughly about 8 kilometres, a medium transition mode, which is about 11 kilometres, and a high advanced mode, which is 14 kilometres. Now, as you can see, we've got the 16-inch up on the screen. So they weigh 9 kilos. Again, they come with the aluminium TIG weld frame, the fork steel BMX style. And their speed ranges from 8 kilometres to 21, so they go a little bit faster, quicker. But you can understand it, bigger kid, bigger bike.
Bigger wheels.
So they do say that the 12-inch is recommended for 3 to 5 year olds.
Right.
That roughly weigh about 34 kilos or under.
Yep.
And the 16-inch are 4 to 8 years old and 34 kilos. But they do say that the 12-inch runs up to about 60 minutes.
Radio.
And can take between 30 to 60 minutes to recharge.
Yep.
Same for the bigger bike, the 16-inch, but they have a bit longer, so about a 45 to 60-minute charge.
Cool.
To go from there. But they are great. They even come with a throttle. So the kids, throttle control. So the kids get to learn how to control the bike and the speed through that. So they're a great fantastic entry bike for the kiddies.
Cool.
And I will have those up on the website this week. And they should be ready if anyone's interested to order for Christmas.
Oh yeah. So can I have one for Christmas?
No.
Oh.
And then I really should have done my homework even better and given you the prices, and I forgot to do that.
You'll have them up on the website.
I'll have them up on the website, and I'm actually going to try and get it out today or tomorrow with a social media post. Now, the other one that I'm really, really excited to is, again, I've been doing my homework. And
you're becoming a real expert on this, Jess.
Oh, I am actually having a little bit of fun too, by the way. But Vertigo have just released their Nitro 2022 range.
Awesome.
Now these are a pretty slick looking bike, I must say. I kind of do like the green machine. But they who are they? Vertigo have pretty much flipped their bike. So they've
done a major upgrade.
Major upgrades.
Honestly, were such a schmick bike.
Well, you think that was a schmick bike? They've gotten schmicker.
They got schmicker.
They have gotten schmicker. They've actually spent the last year working with Jamie Bustow and the engineers and development team to really elevate this bike to the next level. So if you bear with me, even though I have done all the write-up, I will just use my notes.
You need to double check. I know what it's like when so much tech information.
Oh, look, they've gone to town with the tech. So they have redistributed the electrical components that have proved accessibility and maintenance to their compartments, making it simpler and more efficient for all your mechanical and maintenance tasks. And in that, they've also improved the muffler, giving it a thermodynamic performance, which I do have to ask someone, please explain what a thermodynamic performance is.
Heat distribution.
Okay.
Movement.
Yeah.
Well, they say they've done that, and that actually helps reduce with the engine braking.
When you've got a really hot butt, it'll move faster.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Mine should go really fast then.
I thought you were talking about me.
But they also have done it with the removal cap end to make maintenance of cleaning the muffler and repacking easier. Now, another advancement they've done, which I actually think is quite a smart idea, is they've brought the fuel tank slightly forward. Which has improved the weight distribution and thus the stability of the bike. But also with doing that, it actually makes refueling a lot safer, that the fuel's not going to go over any of the electrical parts, which could, have things go a little bit wild.
Exactly.
Now, they spent time with doing a new multi-tubular chassis, which gives the Nitro a superior agility and handling capabilities.
Yeah, and that's where the rear shock mount, it's different to the earlier ones, and that's a little bit geometry changing there. So, And the other one that I thought was pretty cool was, and we're talking about the cooling system. Well, there's a pun if you ever knew about it. You're a poet and don't know it.
I am. But they've relocated the cooling system components, so now that more air is able to enter through the newly designed intakes, which means the whole system is easier to maintain and look after. And the other one that I think is actually pretty cool, which also comes to the repositioning of the coolant circuit, the water pump.
Yep, the water pump.
So that now has been repositioned to the lowest point of the cooling circuit, so it is self-bleeding, making it more efficient of a cooling system.
Yeah, that is really good, because you can get caught. Like, I've got caught for a couple of bikes when I'm doing the coolant change, and you get an airlock in there, and you think you've got the coolant system topped to the correct level, and you haven't. You end up
and besides, they've also done a new bash plate, and the rear brake hose is incorporated into the Nitro in a more efficient spot as well, which makes it easier to access the clutch.
Awesome.
So these are pretty sweet, and
that's all. And I hear a rumour that there may be an electric start one coming.
Let's get that rumour mill piping.
Keep your ears out for that.
That Nitro range comes in a 125, 200, 250 and 300. And the brilliant part is they're all priced at the same price.
Ah, cool. Well, that's
so it doesn't matter which one you get. There's no cheaper one for a 125. It's the same price
all the way through.
So you can snavel yourself one for $11,650.
Whoa, you're right on the info.
Oh, I am. So that's for the green machine.
Yeah. Well, we've already pre-ordered a 200 2022 Vertigo Nitro. So we want to get our hands on the first one of them. So I don't know when that will arrive in WA yet, but we're on that.
We will keep you posted.
And so other bikes, the Jess has been working very hard on our website. Thanks a lot, Jess.
No, you're welcome.
She's got the 2022 beaters up there, the 2022 gases up there.
Vertigos are up there.
The Vertigos are up there. We're working on the TRSs. Now, on the gases, we've got a couple of 21s still available in stock, with the factory rebate on them. So if you're looking for a bargain there, the TRS in tight demand at the moment. Now there's one TRS RR 300 kickstart left.
So
and then we've got 121 2021 Gold TRS electric start, which will be arriving shortly. So that'll be here soon. I'm expecting maybe a week or so for it to land in Australia.
So we get another electric start.
That's an electric start job. They are beautiful. The 16-inch little TRS electric kids bike, they're landing roughly in a week's time as well.
Oh, perfect time for Christmas.
Yeah, so
be a lot of happy kids this year.
You need to be quick to grab them. I think they'll be going pretty quick. And the X-Tracks, the licensable X-Tracks, which are based on the RR base bike, is December, and there may be some gold 300 electric starts in there as well. In that batch there. So some good stuff available there from TRS.
Yep.
So that's pretty well it on
that's
bikes
it for you.
At the moment.
And I will jump over for our events.
What's
next we have the charity
hey!
trail.
Party time.
Oh, it sure will be.
Yeah.
So don't forget, entries do close at
Friday?
No.
Thursday, sorry.
Thursday.
Yes.
Midnight Thursday, so still plenty of time to get your registration. Yes, well, you got until tomorrow midnight to get your registrations in. Camping, again, available from Friday. Please be very diligent and drive very slowly past the farmer's house. We do not want to lose this property.
We don't want any deaths.
Well, yes, I was about to say that as well. We don't want to, have any unfortunate accidents.
With shotguns.
So that's heading up. So it's a full-day ride Sunday, half-day ride Monday.
Yes.
And don't forget to bring your trash and treasure for the awesome auction. So we've got a couple of things. I believe you've been... Actually, no. What am I saying? It's me. I'll take the blame for it. But we've got some stuff that will have...
some surprise packages?
Oh, yes, I do need me. I love a good surprise. But yeah, we'll have surprise packages, and I've even made up 4 little bags for the kids if they want to have a go at.
Great.
I know. I think I have to go and get a couple more because I know my 2 are just like, oh my God, can I get in the auction? So I might even have to go back and get a couple more just to make sure that the other kids can have a go.
That's awesome.
So we've got that coming up now. Pathfinders have also uploaded onto RiderNet that the 45th celebration and trophy presentation at Oakover on Sunday the 16th. It is a lunchtime event. Now you'll have to head on to RiderNet to register for that. It's a free event. Pathies have put it all on for everyone. It's going to be a wonderful time. Awesome. I will need to get Simon is online. So Simon, can you let us know if there is a cut-off date? Simon Thomas.
Yes.
If there is a cut-off date for...
I'm on screen as well. No.
If there is a cut-off date for when you can secure your spot for the luncheon, because they need for catering and all that sort of stuff.
Numbers.
So it is a tapas style. I think it's tapas style.
What's that? Tapas style? What, you got to do a tap dance before you can eat?
Yes. Especially for people named Simon.
You got to dance before you eat or something? Who sung that song?
I don't know. You're making things up now.
But
anyway, I'm talking.
Okay.
So it is tapas style. So that just really means small servings of food on platters will get shared around. But they also have a kids meal.
Yep.
For the kids that'll be done. So that's coming up on the 16th. Again, the 17th, the next day, we have the Oset Day at AWST Park. So that is going to be, that's the final one.
That's the kiddies.
Yep. We have the Ashes Trial at Simon Thomas.
Mr. Thomas.
What is it?
There's
too many Thomases and Simons and everything.
Farmer Dave.
Farmer Dave at Moranga up there. So that's on the 24th. Then we have the night trial on the 30th. Now
AWST Park.
Yeah, AWST Park.
Yeah.
If you are not running, this is just an awesome one to come down and support and watch, because it's kind of cool to be doing it at night and not during the day. So you're not going to sweat, you're not going to get hot and all bothered. They put the water on, so there's a chance that people go for a lovely little swim.
Yeah, I believe Andreas is looking forward to that.
Oh yes, I think he should really bring floaties and maybe some bathers just in case.
Yeah.
And then we finish up on the 7th of November with the trophy day for AJS, and that's usually at I can't think of it. Whiteman Park.
Normally at Whiteman Park, but we'll
I'll
check
get that confirmed, and that's all the events.
Yeah.
So literally, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more.
Yeah.
And then the season's up. So
yeah,
3, 1, 2, 3, 4 more riding.
Yeah.
4 more rides.
Yeah. And then it's into practicing and preparation for 2022, which will come around before you know it.
Definitely. And hopefully Neil might be putting up some coaching dates as well.
No, that'd be awesome.
Keep an eye out on, if he does, we'll spruik him on our page, but also keep an eye on the Trials and Enduro Skills page.
No worries. Awesome.
But yeah, that's it.
You've done a great job, Jess.
I know. I perked up. Considering really when we said hello this morning, I was like, I don't even know if I can get a hello out.
I know. Unbelievable.
So yes,
no,
it's all good.
Awesome, Jess. Great work. Hey people, fantastic to have you on our show. I hope you enjoyed the show. It was pretty full on.
It was. Now I'm just going to butt in again because Simon has put up that they're thinking it's the 7th or 8th of October for cutoff for the Pathfinders 45th lunch and trophy presentation.
Yep, and there's going to be some special presentations for that one too. So it's worth coming.
Definitely.
No worries. Awesome stuff. Well, I think that's a wrap for that from us.
Definitely.
Definitely going to have to go fill me cuppa up again, have another coffee, and then sit around do nothing for the rest of the day, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
After this exhausting half hour.
We've just got nothing on, really. Got nothing to plan for.
No worries. So, really look forward to seeing you at the charity trial and the further events throughout the season. So, for now, ciao from us. Have a great one. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Awesome stuff. Yeah, that was really full on.